Talk about this PlayStation 5 reveal. We're going to talk about these video games. We're going to talk about the controllers. We're going to talk about the consoles. We're going to try to talk about some specs. We're just pretty much going to figure it out. So as always, we got Mark.
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Chris, give some love as well.
Yo. You know, I'm back at it again.
Now, as always, you guys know you can follow their pages. I'll link them up and we'll go from there. So, yeah, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. All right, let's talk about Spider-Man.
A hero's just someone who doesn't give up. Your dad said that. He was right. Now it's your turn. Go be a hero, Miles.
Okay, let's do this.
Feeling just don't stop doing that. Tryna hate on us. And when my legs are so strong enough. The feeling just don't stop doing that. Baby, yeah, we can go.
First Black Spider-Man. What? Like, and mainstream, can you say movie? Can you say movie? And if anyone can do it, Sony can. Because Sony owns Spider-Man.
Yes, I don't want them to do a live action. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the formula they already used with Into the Spider-Verse was impeccable. That is, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man production we've gotten in a movie theater. Yes, I know Tobey is amazing, right? Not really. I don't think so. But I know Tobey did his thing.
Leave my Tobey alone.
Yeah, boy. And dang, if I was in my crib, I would have my Miles. But Tobey did his thing. Tom Holland did his thing, right? Tom Holland is probably the best picture overall for live action, in my opinion. That's different. And Andrew Garfield also did his thing. Like, that's fine. They're separate movies. They grasp different concepts of Peter Parker, but Into the Spider-Verse grasped the whole picture while still paying homage to where Spider-Man, where Miles came from, and why they were able to do it, which is beautiful. The character didn't have any struggles with being Black or Latino. Like, he was both flawlessly. He embraced both aspects, right? Because I'm tired of the whole idea where it's like, you're biracial, so you're confused. He wasn't confused. His parents weren't ghetto. Like, you know, like, they were supportive.
Color was just
exactly. Like,
I was like, okay.
He was just,
you live in California, I live in New York. That's what it was. It was nothing else.
Exactly, right? And that allows you to focus on the bigger pictures about his character and the struggles that he was going through, where it's like, I was a normal kid one day, I've got these superpowers the next day. I just watched my favorite hero. Yeah, like, I just watched my favorite hero die. I want to do the right thing, but I could die. Like, you know, like, it was just impeccable.
Yeah, and that's where DC fails in my eyes. That's where DC fails in my eyes. I feel like they try to overcompensate and make it way too more complicated than it needs to be. I.e., Wonder Woman is probably one of the biggest examples for that. It was it was a great movie, but the fact that they emphasized so much on women power, and not that she was just another superhero. They emphasized so much on her sex and her gender. And then I felt like Marvel felt like they had to do the same exact thing with Captain Marvel. But then, like I said, now that they did this Spider-Man, I think they were like, you know what? We don't need to do that. Like, they're just another hero. Let's not point out the obvious, because when you do that, you lose the essence of the superhero power.
Which was Black Panther a little bit.
Yeah, but you see, Black Panther
was more of like it was a great movie. It was a great movie. Like, I have no problems with it. But it was just, for a superhero movie, it was more focused on being a Black movie than a superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't see one without seeing that. Like, you can't see both at the same time. Like, you're either looking at him as a hero or looking at him as a black
I'm
man.
gonna have to disagree with you just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm gonna have to disagree with you because and not to go too long on this, but if you look at Tony Stark, white guy, rich man, everything, billionaire, you know what I mean? Everything. And then you have Black Panther stepping in. It's like, yo, we're the same exact thing. You're no better than me. I got as much money as you. I got just as much technology as you, but I'm a different type of hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like they met in a middle ground as far as that goes. Like, I feel like it's just another person that's blending in. So what do you think about that, Mark?
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a Marvel fan. With the exception of Spider-Man, don't talk to me about Marvel. Don't. I can't get into it. I can't get into it because I've always been a Superman fan. I'm a diehard Superman fan.
So Nintendo 64 Superman?
Yeah, I don't care how bad that game was. I don't care how bad that game was. It was I had it and I was like, this game is so. But,
another show, another time. We're talking about.
But yeah, it's like the only reason why I'm biased towards DC is because I grew up watching the animated series on Fox.
A slight prediction for me is like you're gonna start the second game as Peter, right? And Peter's gonna go into an event or something where he either gets killed or he's unable to be Spider-Man anymore. In which case he tells Miles, I understand your struggle with this, but I need you to do what only a Spider-Man can do. Right? Yeah. And then you get to the point where now you're Miles, right? That's my prediction. Sorry, I didn't mean to step into it like that, but like that's generally my prediction of where it's gonna go, right? Because how else would you get from that transition from Spider-Man from the first game to Miles being Spider-Man in the second game, right? Something has to happen to Peter. There has to be a reason why Miles picks up the mantle of Spider-Man.
Yeah, but we don't even know if it's gonna follow that lore. It could just
dude, it's gonna follow the lore. It's gonna follow.
We don't. I'm trying. I don't want Peter. I just don't want Peter to die. That's just
all right. Mark, what's your excitement for out of a 10 for Spider-Man?
Honestly, I gotta give it a 9. I do. It's not gonna get the perfect 10, and I'll tell you why. During the actual showing of the game, those were all cutscenes, man. I'm sorry. I saw no gameplay. It would have gotten the 10 had I seen some gameplay.
All right, Chris, what do you give it out of your excitement level?
Excitement level, definitely a 10. I'm excited to see a new Spider-Man game. I'm excited to see Miles in that new Spider-Man game, and I'm definitely excited to see how they'll implement his special Spider-Man abilities to the whole of the game. The only shortcoming I can see is like a big thing in the first game was Spider-Man having the different suits and them giving him different abilities. Now, I'm a Miles Morales fan, don't get me wrong, but I don't see him having that many suits in comparison to the original Spider-Man, who has like almost damn near like 80 years of history behind him.
I see what you mean.
But that's just my my shortage of knowledge. So I'm curious to see how they're going to implement that customization aspect that they had in the first game, that variety they had in the first game with Miles, who doesn't have as much, history to go or pull from,
So for me, I'm going to have to give Spider-Man, for right now, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm giving it a 7, not because the visuals weren't beautiful, not because the mechanics didn't look beautiful. I'm hoping, and hear me out. The only reason why I'm giving it a 7 is because I hope that they're going to take Spider-Man's powers, and since it's not Peter Parker anymore. It's not Peter. Right? This is a total different Spider-Man. So I'm hoping that because he's a different human, but he has the Spider-Man venom in him, that he has some different types of powers, that maybe his spidey senses are more intensified, and that actually allows him to visually see from a certain distance, or things like within that nature. Why only have his webs come out of his wrist? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to give him any type of different abilities than the regular Peter Parker? Just because we're both Spider-Man doesn't mean that I could have a slight advantage over you as a certain Spider-Man. So that's what I'm curious to see. Are they going to switch it up over on its head? Because then that's when you could really have an argument. Yo, are you a Spider-Man fan? Are we talking about Peter Parker Spider-Man? Are we talking about Miles Spider-Man? You tell me.
Oh well, dude, I'm definitely not a Peter Parker fan, so I understand what you mean.
Like, so that's what I'm trying to say.
That's fair.
Are they? I hope they just don't give Miles the same powers that Peter Parker has, because all you're doing is just literally changing the skin color. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing, and you're reusing everything and mechanics and abilities.
So you're hoping like they really take the Miles's personality and depict how he is Spider-Man versus.
You all right back there? No way. It appears that the dimensions are collapsing on one another. If we cannot get to... Right, the ship. I mean, we can't be that far.
I have it in my sights.
They have found us, Ratchet. How do I steer this thing? Ask nicely. Slow down, please. Dad's not listening. The dimensions are weakening considerably. How bad is it? Well, it is certainly not good. Great! Where are we? Beats me.
How many arms you got, beast? We've been boarded. Get off me, ship. Creature.
Clank! Ratchet, we are too late. Ratchet?
Who?
Hi, I'm Marcus Smith, creative director at Insomniac Games. The entire studio is so excited to be able to share with you a first ever look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a brand new, full-length, interdimensional adventure built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5. We're doing things we've never been able to do before, like use dimensional rifts to be able to leap from planet to planet nearly instantly, or put ray trace reflections on Clank. All of our alien worlds are filled with density and life previously unseen. Plus, Ratchet's all-new arsenal is more exciting than ever thanks to the DualSense controller's enhanced feedback. Ratchet and Clank are near and dear to our hearts at Insomniac, and we can't wait to share more with you in the future. But for now, here's another look.
Did you see that?
Like my ride, bro? Off the Wombat.
It's Ratchet and Clank!
Sand sharks from above.
Nice sand shark! Nice sand shark! My heroes!
Was that a kraken? Or at least a very large octopus. I will never get used to that. Hey, break reality.
Don't let him get to the boss!
Did Dr. Nefarious really resurface after all these years just to try and take over the universe again? Yeah! I kind of wish he was doing a worse job! He must have more planned than he. That's what I'm afraid of.
I can't speak. I can't speak too much. I can't speak too much about Ratchet and Clank. I can't. I'm a Jack and Daxter fan, and I will forevermore be a Jack and Daxter fan. I'm sorry.
All right, listen, my first impressions on this game was, and I don't have much to say because I don't know really the story behind Ratchet and Clank like that, but I will say this. My first reaction, Chris, you're my witness. I was like, I feel like I'm in the movie playing this game.
Yeah.
The gameplay is remarkable how just fluid and clear it was. Just like, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm watching a movie with the kids, but I'm actually playing the character. So I was like, we say that every year, right? We say that every year, like, oh my God, the graphics are amazing.
This time they really stepped it up.
Oh yeah, like it's there. Like, I don't feel like, even though it felt very cartoonish, it felt very real at the same time. So I'm amazed. I'm definitely getting.
It felt like a real ass cartoon.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean. Like, I felt like I'm playing like SpongeBob or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for that. I'm definitely excited for Ratchet and Clank with the play with the kids. Yeah, super fun.
Me next.
Yeah.
Dude, Ratchet and Clank for me, maybe like a 9 out of 10 excitement level. Some of my fondest memories of single player gaming was playing them over my brother's shoulder, meaning whilst he's playing, I'm putting in my 2 cents every second.
Yeah.
And, you know, like now that I'm older, you know, like only 26, don't worry. But like just the idea of being able to play Ratchet and Clank with like my girlfriend sitting here with me or something like that, like, is awesome because, you know, it's like a quirky, fun story that you don't gotta take too serious, where you don't mind handing someone who might not be as good at gaming as you the controller and be like, try it. Like, you know, it's like a game that you can enjoy watching or playing. Like, it's not like any harder to enjoy it only watching, is what I mean. And I just think it's holding to what it does best. It's got a quirky, you know, like gimmick in it with Ratchet jumping through dimensions now. Like, they've always had quirky gimmicks, whether it be, you know, just being able to throw a wrench as a boomerang.
Yeah.
Versus there was one game where like you had you use Clank's arm to grapple, like, you know, and it's like they synonymously put that together with this narrative that isn't to be taken too serious. It's actually kind of funny. And it's just an enjoyable experience. Like, and sometimes you just want a game you can play for fun and not have to take too seriously.
Exactly. You don't take too seriously. You know what I mean?
And
like, I
give them super kudos to the fact that apparently you're not going to be playing as the regular Ratchet the whole time. They introduced a female protagonist, which I think is impeccable because, you know, it also, it gives that idea of like equality, like, hey, like, heroes have all shapes and sizes, and, you know, I just think that's pretty freaking rad. And it's nice to see a different Ratchet design. Like, you know, everybody knows, like, if you go search a character online, somebody's drawing like the female version or like, you know, like an alternate version of them. And it's nice to see that they're giving allocation to changing their main character design while still maintaining it, which is awesome.
Agreed. And what about you? I know you don't have much to say about it, Mark.
5 out of 10.
Ooh, wow.
I know people are gonna get upset that way. It's just, I don't know.
No. It's, if you don't like that kind of game, you don't like that.
It's no. You see, it has nothing to do with the game. It's just that I like its predecessor. I'm a Jack and Daxter kind of guy. I do. Jack and Daxter. Sorry.
Listening. Trying to listen.
Yeah. So it's that I see Ratchet and Clank. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's Jack and Daxter kind of feel, except backwards, because Jack, the main character, was the more serious one. Daxter was the comedic relief. In this case, Clank, that's his name? I don't know, I've never played anything. So Clank is the serious one, and then Ratchet is like, oh,
so that kind of shows that you haven't played it, right? Because it's not that neither one is silly in Ratchet and Clank. It's that one has dry humor and like super direct humor, and then one has silly humor, right? So Clank makes jokes Yeah, Clank makes jokes all the time, but they're like super dry. So like only if you enjoy dry humor will you find it funny. Like, you know, because he's more like sarcastic with his humor.
And that's fine. No, that's fine and all. It's just like they did my Jack and Daxter dirty. They did.
Well, Naughty Dog moved on to different titles, bro.
Yeah, they did. And then another company.
Ones.
Yeah, yeah. They played. I know. They did Uncharted. They revamped a few of the games. Like I get it.
They did Uncharted, dude. They did freaking what's his face, The Last of Us.
Yeah, I'm talking about following the chronological time period. That like I get that part, and I'm just like, it just makes me sad because I was actually a huge Jack and Daxter fan. The world had promise, and then I don't know.
Dude, that's like Banjo-Kazooie. Like, come on.
Oh, dude,
Banjo-Kazooie had so much promise, but it just couldn't beat Crash Bandicoot for whatever reason, and Donkey Kong. Banjo-Kazooie just could not stay on for whatever reason. Like, it, for whatever reason.
I'll be honest with you.
Wait.
No, Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, so I've played all three of them, and I'll be real with you. What bothered me the most is the character design. Banjo-Kazooie's character design was flawed.
It was flawed. It was flawed.
It was a little cringy. It was like,
yeah, it was flawed.
It
just like watching Sesame Street right now. You know what I mean?
Oof.
Yeah. It's like, oh, did he really just say that? Did Elmo really ask him to tickle him? Like, what? That's weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the difference in those games is Banjo and Kazooie was supported by Nintendo. I mean, it wasn't supported by Nintendo as long as that
was Rare, right?
Yeah,
it was Rare.
Yeah, but the Rare had Donkey Kong already.
Rare got purchased by what's his face?
No,
by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, well, rather than that, but like Microsoft got ownership of Banjo. No, by Rare, right? And Banjo and Kazooie.
Right, Rare. I got you.
Yeah, Microsoft got control of Banjo and Kazooie, and that is ultimately like I think they just did it wrong. Like, yeah, there you go. And they just not wrong, but they just didn't do it for what made the other games more popular. Like, I think they tried to further their thinking with the IP, and it just didn't pan out being something that caught on.
Yeah. They're owned by Rare, which is a subsidiary of Xbox Game Studios. And that means that Microsoft owns them, which means for Banjo to come out on Smash, Nintendo, Microsoft must have like really bumped heads for a second there.
Yeah.
But that's a totally different argument for a different day.
Yeah. So now you should go on to the next one, I believe. Project Athia, if that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so with this game, there's not a lot about it. Hey, Mark, respect. Respect, Mark. So there's not a lot about this game, only that there's a lot of werewolf-like creatures and flying things all over the place and beautiful graphics. So this I'm hyped for just because it looks like it's a visual orgasm. That's right, I said orgasm. So I just feel like it's going to be a good game, just visually. I can't tell you about any stories, but it's made by Square Enix.
Which we have a super biased guy.
Mark? Yeah. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Listen, this is what I'm expecting, okay? Square Enix has as my cousin would love to say.
Hey, Mark, how about you tell me how you feel? Go ahead.
I gladly.
Tell me how you really feel.
Square Enix, they look. Just forget it. Just forget it.
You finish, bro?
I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it short. Ready? I guarantee you that the visuals are gonna be made by Luminous Productions, which is a company that is working with Square Enix, and then Square Enix is gonna have the combat portion of it, and it's gonna feel like another Final Fantasy. I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
So my question to you is, why is that a bad thing?
Their
Final Fantasy system has found tons of success in their revamp of Final Fantasy VII. I've heard nothing but praise about how they incorporated live action into RPG elements.
You mean what Kingdom Hearts was supposed to be? Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so you're upset because Kingdom Hearts didn't end
up. No, I'm upset. This goes back way further than this.
Wow.
Which let me tell you something.
No blows, huh?
Look, okay, Kingdom Hearts 1, masterpiece. It had incorporated childhood gaming with fantasy and then progression, growth.
Disney's first. This should have been everyone's warning for Disney. That's all I'm saying.
From the jump.
This should have been the warning that Disney wants to take over. It didn't matter what. They took over the video game world, and then they stepped into movies and films. So this should have been the first warning. And everyone should have seen the Disney monster coming. That's all.
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and there was a Game Boy Advance port that had come out called Chain of Memories, which Square Enix tried this card Japanese turnstile based pseudo kind of thing, which womped, and people played it just for the story. And then 2 came out, and everybody was expecting. I guess if Kingdom Hearts 2 felt like Kingdom Hearts 1.5, and not the actual game. I mean, actually 1.5. It did it. All it did was emphasize the character traits higher, and it felt like Square Enix just was like, all right, here's some money, go, just do it. They didn't pay love to the game.
Oh man, you know what? I think they listen to the fans too much, and that's where I'm gonna have to stop you. Think about it. Kingdom Hearts 3 got pushed back how many times? How many times?
I don't even care. I stopped caring. I'm not waiting for this game I still don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. I'm sorry. I didn't even finish it. I bought the limited edition because I support the franchise, and I did not finish the first level past some lava scenes because I was like, there's too many cutscenes. I shouldn't be taking every 10 steps in a cutscene. I'm not watching a movie.
It's so hard because Disney, exactly.
My point is, yo.
Think about it. You're taking a Final Fantasy world, right? Originally.
But it's not. It's not a Final Fantasy world.
It's a world that's like a concept of Final Fantasy.
It's not. It's a Disney game.
Hear me out. It is a Disney game.
No. It's a Final Fantasy game with Disney characters. That's literally.
And the Disney went away, and I'm like,
it didn't really go away because this is what happened, right? Disney and Final Fantasy was like, okay, we're gonna marry the two, we're gonna figure it out. They did. Kingdom Hearts 1, beautiful game, just like you said, masterpiece. They listened way too much to the fans for 2, couldn't figure it out. And then you got to remember, in the process, while Kingdom Hearts is figuring out their life, Disney is going on a rampage, buying everyone and their mother, Marvel, then the Star Wars franchise. So
National Geographic.
Oh, exactly. And they bought
Nat Geo?
Everybody.
Yes.
Now, Kingdom Hearts have to now incorporate all these new characters that Disney's bringing to the table. Because why not? And then
as time passes, they have more popular IPs coming out. Like Moana became massively popular, but I think that's Pixar, right? Disney Pixar.
I don't remember.
Come on,
but to focus on Project Athia, a working title. I hope that Square Enix is just backing up the money. to Luminous Productions, and Luminous Productions really takes reign on everything. Whenever I see a Square Enix style type of game, I see repetition, and that's what angers me.
Understood.
Chris,
what about you, Chris?
If you're playing Square Enix games, it's about playing the movie. So like you said, in Final Fantasy, it's so many cutscenes, so much dialogue, so much story. I think it's about like, you ever watch a movie and you wish you could fight the fight for that character because of such a cool fighting scene?
Yeah.
That's what Square Enix is about, bro.
Their storytelling isn't good.
Oh, well, it's opinionated. I like the cheesy Japanese style of storytelling.
It's played out. It's so 2006. Get rid of it.
I watch K-dramas. I can't say I don't want it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my excitement for it, I don't know, isn't that high.
Me personally,
I'm indifferent, so I guess 5.
I need to see a little bit more. I have high hopes for it, but it's that Square Enix.
All right, Project Athia. Like I said, I'm excited to play it. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it's something brand new. It's something brand new, and I love brand new stuff. There's nothing better than opening up a brand new anything and just...
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Just smell it. You know what I mean? So there's nothing better than that feeling. But with that being said, I wish Square Enix would have really worked on Dissidia. I feel like they have something there. And if they wanna kill the game, they want to kill Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot.
It was there.
It's still there. It still can't happen. Because you got to think about it, because Square Enix obviously loves Disney and Disney obviously loves Square Enix. So now you can add all these Disney characters into the Dissidia world.
It was there. Dissidia 1, it was perfect. Dissidia 2 brought it to the next level and nerfed a few things that were broken about the first one, specifically Gabranth. We're not going to get there.
Yeah, we're not gonna get there exactly. When there's a debut for that, we'll talk about it. Okay. Next game. Sackboy, A Big Adventure. What the heck? Just what the heck? Chris?
I'm a solid 10 out of 10 on excitement, dude. All right, I'm gonna stop playing the game to focus on this conversation. I'm a solid 10 out of 10 for excitement. PlayStation has been suffering from having a friendly, non-realistic mascot to their systems. you know, like if you've ever seen them with their when they throw up PlayStation and they shoot the characters out, right? They're always, it's like Lara Croft and Kratos and Nathan, right? You're missing, like, they're all very different, like varied characters, and a strong suit of Nintendo is having like this art style they stuck to that kind of all their characters fit. So it was nice to see them all together. Like, it's always enjoyable to see them represented together. Yep. And Sackboy can be exactly that for PlayStation, right? Now that they've removed him from that constraining idea of what the Little Big Planet was, you can really see how great of a character design he has and the potential he has as like from his design as well, right? Because Sackboy isn't a person, it makes sense that maybe his body can unravel and him travel as a string to get to other places and reform his whole body, you know? And also, the even bigger fun about him is that you can have him do wonky things like dressed up as any character you want. You can just put their clothes on him and he kind of pretty much pulls that form, almost like Kirby, right? And then the similarities that he has to Mario as well now with this new Big Adventure game, I would say is not something that I'm sad about. It is honestly amazing because it can seamlessly go into a third-person platformer, into a regular platformer, with 3D aspects. It's like synonymously using 2D, 3D styles and skills all at the same time. And then the world looks beautiful. Like, it's full of color and all of that. So I'm not sad about it. I'm not gonna say I'm upset they're taken from Mario style games or anything. Honestly, I think it's something that we need on the PlayStation. Because, you know, we don't want to just cater to us. We want to cater to everyone. I want a game I can maybe play with my nephews. They're at the age now where they can play video games. And it would be cool to just enjoy fun adventure with them.
All right. Mark, would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you go first.
All right. Now, all I have to say is this is bravo. Bravo, PlayStation. You took something and you made it into something else, completely else. You took a page from Nintendo. That's all I have to say about that. Mario was known as very 2D world, from left to right. You couldn't go back for whatever reason unless you was on a certain stage, and that's what you was confined to. And then when everyone mastered those games, you went from left to right, and then everyone had to just do speed runs, and that was it, right? That was Mario. And then they said, you know what? Let's make something different. Let's make Mario into an actual world where people could play his story and they could get a more in-depth feel. Mario 64, they figured it out. They figured it out. They completely made something else. And then when they went to another console, they made Mario Sunshine. They figured it out. And PlayStation did it. They finally did it. They figured it out. They took a page from Nintendo and they made their own real character from the gutter where you was very confined. You made your own little world, and that was cute and all. But now you actually have a story. You bring more characters involved, and now you're gonna see so many different branch offs. Like, I want to know who Sackboy's best friend is gonna be, like how Mario has Luigi. You know what I mean? So like I said, they figured it out. They figured it out, and this is going to take it over. Nintendo has always been so low key. Nintendo has always been like, you know what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm just gonna do me. Think about it. They never did what anybody else did. When everyone was coming out with CDs and black disc in the back for PlayStation and the Blu-ray versus the HD video, they were like, you know what? We're gonna stick to our chips. We're good. We're good. And then when they were really forced to jump from Nintendo 64 to GameCube, they're like, you know what? Our CDs, we're gonna have CDs, but they're gonna be super small. They're gonna be super small. We're gonna be different. And then they went from CDs, and then they went right back to cartridges.
Even with GameCube, dude, they were the first console to have 12 ports. Well, Well, they had 64, which also still had 4 ports, but
Exactly. You're 100% right. So, like I said, Nintendo has always been like, yo, just do you. Don't worry about us. We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll go into the disc world. We'll figure it out, but we'll do us. And Sony has finally paid attention to that, and they took a formula that has been successful for Mario, for Kirby, for all these main people to open up another universe for PlayStation. So, like I said, bravo PlayStation. I mean, it only took you to PlayStation 5, but you got there. And this is, Sackboy is an exclusive. It's not like how Crash Bandicoot is on different platforms now. No, that's it.
Oh, Rayman.
That is completely all to PlayStation. So, bravo. I'm super excited. I'm giving this a 9. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Super excited to play because I just want to see the story. I want to know who his best friend is and what is Sackboy's adventure going to be. Is it going to be another Mario where you have to save the princess over and over again? What is it going to be? Who is going to be his main villain? That's what I'm so excited to see. So, man, I know.
Like,
Mark,
what is his main objective as a character?
Exactly. Now, Mark, I know you're super excited, so take it away. Take it away.
You guys don't understand the sheer magnitude of this game. You don't. Coming from someone, I know we've all played platformers in the beginning, and that's what everybody started off on. But you don't understand the amount of work and complexity that went into the game. You don't because tell me what I feel. I'll tell you why. All right, I would tell you exactly why this game is a 15 out of 10.
Oof.
Okay, every platformer has this problem. Every platformer has this problem where you gotta go from 2D to 3D, and they don't mix. And I'll tell you why. That is the perfect example. Depth.
The Shadow games were actually dumb good.
The depth perception has always been a problem when making a 2D, 3D transitional game. And yes, I am going to reference Eagle Raptor in this because he made a very valid point. For a Zelda game, specifically A Link to the Past, you know, they were above, but they were still within your sword reach. For Ocarina of Time, you know, it was combat centric, and then it was a 3D centric, and they just didn't mix. No one has been able to capture ever, not even Mario, because Mario 3D Land, you can still get hit from behind where the angle of the camera wasn't far enough where you can see if something's coming above you. This isn't a 2D game. This isn't a 3D game. Honest to God, this is a 4D game. And I'll tell you why. Because in this game, something that no Nintendo game has ever been able to capture is multiplayer platforming at a correct distance at a 2D, 3D level. And I'm watching the trailer right now. I'm watching the preview, and I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at, there are certain sequences where it automatically transitions from 2D to 3D. There are certain sequences where you have to play 2D, but the 3D camera's enabled. There are certain sequences where there's a specific path, but after you hit a platform, 3D automatically enables. They seamlessly figured out a way to add 3D, and not just 3D graphics, 3D controls on a 2D game. They have done the impossible. They've done it. They have done it. Where, oh, I gotta jump on this tightrope. Okay, I'm gonna jump towards the tightrope, and then the 2D functionality is gonna enable. But as you get to the end, oh, the 3D function is gonna turn right back on.
Yeah.
They did it. But then they took it, not only did Sony take it to the next level, but they said, hey, you know what? We're gonna add 4 people. 4 people. They took what Little Big Planet is, especially the first one, which I personally revered as the greatest one of all of them. They took the shenanigans from the first one, said, we're gonna throw it into a platformer. We're gonna put it where you can still hit each other, you can still kill each other, and you still have to complete the mission. Now, we don't know too much about it. We don't know the specs. We don't know if everyone's going to have a life. We don't know if it's going to follow typical Mario fashion, because the gameplay that's shown here doesn't show a status bar. It doesn't show a health bar. It doesn't show a power bar. It doesn't show anything. All it shows is at its roots, collecting bubbles, which is your points, not dying, and seeing 3D, 2D gameplay. And it's beautiful. Now, what I'm excited about, although this is an adventure, this goes without saying that this is a Little Big Planet game, or it can fall under the Little Big Planet universe. Yeah. Are there going to be higher customizations like Little Big Planet, where you can create your own platforming levels, like 3D Mario Super Maker?
I was gonna say, I hope they don't do that.
Are you kidding me? That would put it higher than 3D Mario Maker,
because they did that for Brawl as well. Brawl, you was able to make your own stage, and then it got ridiculous where stages were just like, it was like, okay, why?
Right, but that's a fighting game.
Yeah, I get it.
This is
you said in Brawl?
Yeah, in Brawl.
I
love this Subspace Emissary, dude.
Right, that's a fighting game. That's a fighting game. This is a platformer. This is a multiplayer platformer. Because if you think about it, the only really good multiplayer platformer that came out for Nintendo, that's a Mario game, was Mario, the new Super Mario Wii U Adventure, where you can play four. But even then, that game got complicated because the characters couldn't go through each other. So you're constantly hitting each other, you're constantly throwing each other. And that's good for a party game, but if you're trying to work together as a team, it's very bad. It's very bad. It's very Little Big Planet 3 was a bad game. I'll be the first one to say it. It added too many mechanics. It was too complicated. It was too showy. It was too much. 2 was the perfect blend of newer mechanics, but still simplicity. What I didn't like that they added was voice. Don't put voices in a silent game. This is a silent game. The same way how Mario in its initial, whenever you would die, all you would hear is the music in your death. In Little Big Planet 1, when you died, you hear the confetti popping. That was your death. Now they added voices. Take those voices away. It's unnecessary. It's a platformer. The kid's imagination is supposed to be thrown into it. Don't give the sack person a voice. Don't give the leave it simple. Leave the narrator to narrate, which, by the way, was still one of my favorite things about Little Big Planet, and keep it where when you die, you don't hear a scream, you hear a and that's it. Keep it simple. I'm looking at it right now. They're incorporating things from 2 and 3, and they've done it. They've literally done it. They've made a 2D, 3D platform game.
All right. Perfect. It is
perfect.
I agree. I agree. I'm super excited for this, man. Like I said, this is definitely high on my list. Just because I just want, like I said, it's something new. It's something, even though it's an older game, it's still something very new. I played I played the game when it first came out. I remember, Mark, you was the one.
Yeah, we were playing. I was like, yo, you need to get this game. We're like, what? Yo, we played for hours.
It's super fun, but it's just like I said, man, I'm super excited because it's something new. It's gonna bring another story. I'm very story driven. I'm very also target driven as well. So like let's call it what it is. I'm one of the biggest PlayStation fanboys there are. So I'm rooting. I'm rooting. I want to see this game succeed. I want to be able to see a new story, and I want to see them do what Nintendo did, because I'm sick and tired of Nintendo being Nintendo and not dying. I hate it.
This is better than Nintendo, because again, Nintendo's never been able to capture the multiplayer essence without it being one-sided. It's either 2D or 3D, never both.
So always one functionality is better.
Well, say that again, man. You cut out for a second.
I said it's always like one of the functionalities are better than the other.
Yes. Yeah. And with this game, you finally have both.
Yep. So let's see. Super excited. Hope they don't let us down. I hope the story is just phenomenal.
15 out of 10. I don't even care about the story. I care about being able to kill you guys.
I got you.
I knew he was gonna say that.
That's super.
I don't even care. I don't even care. The game is so perfect.
And like I said, it's a friendly game. Even though we're adults, we can still play it and still have a sense of competition towards it. Like, yo, I'm gonna get to this place before you do. You know what I mean? So, man, let's see. I'm super excited, man. Super excited.
Do you think it'll be multiplayer online?
Yes, and that's another thing that I'm gonna be very honest with you. And Sony, if you're watching this, give it some dedicated servers. Do not do what you did to this. Do not do what you did to Little Big Planet. Don't do that. Where at any 2 seconds I just lag out. Don't do that. Yeah. Do not do that. Give it the attention that it deserves. Push it. Don't. I'm telling you, don't. Sony, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You're gonna mess up the game. It has to be crisp. It has to be seamless. This is your Mario killer. This is it. This is it. Yep. Do not mess this up.
Take Nintendo out. Don't get me wrong. I love Nintendo. I do. But I hate that they're so silent and yet they get to sit on the highest throne still. Like when Nintendo walks into the room, right? Like you got PlayStation flexing on Xbox. Xbox is like, yo, but we still got this. And then Nintendo walks in the room all quiet and everyone's just like, Nintendo.
Yo, Nintendo literally just walks in, whips out that dick and leaves.
Facts. Like, don't forget who I am, boy. You know what I'm saying? That's what Nintendo does. And I hate that about them so much because I'm the type of person I feel like hard work and dedication brings you to where you want to be. And Nintendo, they did what they had to do, and now they don't have nothing to prove.
Let's just talk about the fact, bro, that also, if you post anything about Nintendo on YouTube,
take it down immediately.
They get it taken off so fast. But I can harp so much ish on Xbox or PlayStation, and nothing will happen. Like, they're just like a silent badass, bro. Like,
yeah, exactly. But that's where the respect goes. I respect. They did their time, man. They took how many things have they taken out in this world? You know what I mean? Like they took
you can't have a platformer because Mario has the king. You can't have a silly kart game because Mario has the karting world. You can't have a platform 3D adventure because nothing's better than Super Mario 64 or Super Mario Sunshine.
They just the grandfather, boy.
Yeah, yo, you can't. I get it, but this, I'm telling you, this game, Sackboy, if you do this correctly, if you add the customizations, if you market it correctly, and you push this game, you can take down. This is the Mario killer. This is it. I'm telling you, this is the game that's going to put Mario on his brakes. And you know what the funny part is? I can already see like a funny animation where Mario's trying to square up, and then Sackboy puts on the costume, and he's just looking down at him like, "What?" This is it. They got it. They got it. And I don't want to make another video later on down the line where it's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Yeah. What do you?
Like I said, the ball's in their court right now. They could either execute and conquer and seize, or they could just,
do not make this into a Little Big Planet 3. Please don't make this into a Little Big Planet 3. Little Big Planet 3 was so cringy. Don't do it. Keep it simple. Please. 15 out of 10.
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10. Chris?
15.
You said 10, right? 10 out of 10. So I think it's fair to say that we're copping this game the moment it's released.
Yep.
Let's go on to the next one, huh? Shall we?
You are no longer a slave, Abe. They believed, trusted, followed, and it led them here. You may have escaped the murderous blades, for the fate of your entire people is up to you.
All right, guys. We got Oddworld.
I want to go first. I want to go first. Let me go first. Okay. I have been following the Oddworld series from the beginning. Okay. My brother, Oddworld. Yeah. Abe's Exodus. I'm going to be totally serious with you. There were 2 games that I first played that as far back as I can remember. We had a Super Nintendo, and that was Super Mario World. And then, because, we got a little later on, I was still playing the Super Nintendo. When the Sony came out, I really heavily played, and I was so intrigued with just the puzzling of Oddworld.
And then you have to use your farts and burping noises.
That to me was just like a portion of it, but the puzzles behind it was... It's the fact that the game is slow, the fact that you have to stop and assess the situation and figure out where you want to go, the fact that you can't just run in there guns blazing. No, this is a puzzle game of the ages, and I'm gonna get this game, and I'm gonna perfect this game. I'm gonna platinum this game.
I see it.
I like the first one. Even back in the day, was a visual masterpiece. It wasn't cartoony. It had aspects of I don't know if anybody remembers Hidden in the Mist, Riven, this old PC game where it was like picture and then you're running within the picture. Think of Final Fantasy VII. You know how in Final Fantasy, like it was the picture, or even Resident Evil, it was like a picture and then you're running within the picture, and as you go to certain areas, the camera pans.
Got it.
That's what Oddworld essentially was. The puzzles behind this game was hard. It was like you had a goal, and if you died, you got to kill you. It's just This game goes back to its roots, because the next installation of Oddworld, or even the remake of Abe's Exodus, was bad. It was too fast. It was too kiddie. It was too arcadey. It was like Grand Theft Auto versus Saints Row. And we all know that Saints Row's fun to waste time. Grand Theft Auto, you play seriously.
Yeah.
This game goes back to its beginnings with a higher difficulty. So I'm expecting great things out of this game. I'm going to give it a solid 9.
I think that's fair. I'm going to give it an 8 because it's bringing back the old character. It's his sense of humor, his ambition to get where he needs to get, because that's it. That's his goal. And so I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I'm excited to see what PlayStation's gonna do with paying homage to one of its OGs. You know what I mean? So on its brand new console, where 720 is not the normal now, 1080 is going to be the normal. That's the benchmark now. 1080 is the benchmark, and then you're gonna get those games that can render into 4K on a normal basis, and then possibly even 8K because of the processing power. But the fact that this game is going to be 1080p, bare minimal, I'm super excited. I can't ask for more. So for this game, I'm giving it a solid 8. Chris, what do you have to say?
Sorry to say, I'm 5 out of 5 because I'm indifferent.
5 out of 5 is a 10 out of 10.
Oh, sorry. I'm a 5 out of 10.
Plus 2 is 4. No, I'm sorry.
Dude, I wasn't doing the quick maths. My bad.
Man's not hot.
No.
Shout out to me.
A word that starts with H, but it ain't hot. That one's for me. Nah, I'm not an overwhelming fan of platformers.
Okay.
So Oddworld doesn't hit me in a place that makes me excited. It is a cool looking game, however, and if there is a multiplayer function or like a co-op function, like I can totally see enjoying playing with somebody who is good at puzzle games and platformers. So that I can experience the world but not have to understand it too well because I suck at platformers. No, I don't suck at platformers. I just get frustrated. Thank you, Crash Bandicoot.
Wait, which Crash Bandicoot?
The original one on the PlayStation.
No, that game was too.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
You weren't trained perfect. You died. Yeah.
Well, that's a different story. Story.
4-year-old me has scars and and so I'm against platformers low key a little bit. So yeah, so like it looks cool. It'll be nice like if I can sit and enjoy it with somebody who likes platforms.
Yeah, man.
Like 5.
So yeah, man. Like I said, this is typical Sony just doing this. Oh, you guys want this game? No problem. Let's make it happen.
This game would give you anxiety, Chris. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
It's gonna bring back like me personally. I wish they made a remake of Earthworm Jim. I don't know if you guys remember.
That was a hard game. That was a hard game.
You know what I mean? And there was also another one that Sega had. He was a green guy and he had like balls as a body. I forget what it was.
On the Genesis, right?
On the Genesis, yeah. That was an exclusive as well. And literally, he was just a person that had a whole bunch of balls, and he shot balls out of his hand. It's a Sega game. If you guys can remember, leave it in the comments, please. But if you remember that gameplay for the OG heads, I'm a little older than these two, but yeah, man. So
like a year.
3 years maybe. 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Hey,
but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, Sony is just doing one of those things that I love that Sony does. It's just like, all right, we're gonna take off the dust and we're gonna bring it back with a new story. And they figure it out, and that's why I like Sony so much.
I can't wait for this game, man. Honestly, it's Chris. This is platformers with time attack mode, where you got a certain amount of time. That's what this game is. It's a puzzle platform time attack.
That's a good point.
It's like this game will give you anxiety because there's certain sequences where you don't have time to think, where you're running and you have up or down or death and repeat, and it's just like, oh my god. And I think what really pushed, especially the first one, Abe's Odyssey, was the music. If I know, Meek, you remember the music when you're in the temples and you're versing the scarabs and they're running and they're chasing you with their 4 legs and they're trying to stab you, and you hear the music like and I'm just like, it was just like, oh no, you don't know what's gonna happen.
They figured out the iconic music, the hit it music, like Final Fantasy was that. Final Fantasy freaking Pokemon was that same thing, like when you was in the bushes or you was on the bike and made a different noise, and then when you got into that battle scene,
I agree with you, with the exception of Final Fantasy. No, we don't talk about Final Fantasy. It's just nah. I will forevermore think Wild Arms had a better story progression than Final Fantasy, which again, this different video.
All right, guys. Now we're talking about Ghostwire Tokyo.
You see things others can't. Hear threats others don't. Fight when others won't. It's up to you to save Tokyo.
Super excited. I love to be scared. I don't know if you've seen my my scary game reviews, our scary game reviews. We love it. We love to scream. We get Chris. He hates it in the beginning, but then he gradually gets into it.
He really gets into it.
YOLO, that's it. I'm already in this. Like waist deep. Let's get into it. Whatever.
When you're shook, I can't be more shook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Me personally, I just love the thrill of being scared. I don't know why. I just do. It puts me on another level. I love it. So like my dopamines go all over the place. But Ghostwire, oh my God, Mark, give me your thoughts.
Okay. I'm watching the trailer, and as I'm watching this, I'm noticing a few things. I have two real main concerns, and the first thing that I'm noticing is this isn't Bethesda's usual line of work. So they have an opportunity here. They don't make horror games. They don't. They make fantasy adventure games.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing
serious things in them though.
No,
they have a lot of gore. They have there's a lot of gore in Fallout.
Right. But this isn't a gory game. This is a suspense kind of game. One thing that I'm noticing is that this follows the Skyrim's first-person magic. Like, if you're looking at it, some of the animations are very similar to Skyrim. So it has a lot of Elder Scrolls tropes to it, which is fine. That's fine. That's what they're known for. They're good at that. My main concern is the glitches, because if there's one thing that Bethesda is known for, is falling through the floor while you're walking forward. Okay? That under no circumstances should ever have to be a thing. So I don't want to call them incomplete games, but this isn't the kind of game where you want to be incomplete, because the last thing you want to do is snap the player back into reality and go, oh, I'm playing a game. You don't want to do that. But what I will tell you that Bethesda always trumps. The reason why this is a good plus for them is their sound. If there's one thing that Bethesda know how to do correctly, is sound. They know how to make the game immersive. And a horror game with Bethesda's potential sound, like you'll hear something jangle in the distance when you have really good headphones and you're gonna go, what was that?
Yep.
So that's something that I'm excited about. I'm gonna give this game a solid 8. A solid 8. If Bethesda fixes their glitches, you'll get no complaints from me.
No. All right. Chris, I know you're not the biggest horror fan. So I just want to hear your thoughts before I put my 2 cents in. Talk to me.
I give this game a solid 8.
Ooh, yeah. I'm actually impressed.
Even as a fan, I'm gonna go ahead and say it gets that rating from me because despite knowing what kind of game it is and how much I don't want to enjoy it, they did a great job of having visuals and capabilities of the character you saw being played that make me want to try it out. I watch a lot of anime, and
I was just gonna say that. Come on, give it to me.
It gave me Tokyo Ravens vibes.
Yeah.
Anime, they are exorcists, and I just felt like that's what the game is. Like, there's a lot of evil, and you're exercising that evil. And the powers just reminded me of it, where it's just like very fluid but very beautiful looking movements, with the effects of things disappearing and getting killed at the same time. I'm a heavy fan of like creative ways of creative mechanics for powers and fighting, and it makes me want to play it even though I don't want to be scared.
Absolutely. So you're giving it a solid 8.
Solid 8. Like, I hate horror, but it looks like I would want to play it. Which,
I'm giving this a game a solid 11 out of 10. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like Bethesda figured out the visuals and they're making you feel so immersive in this game. And just like you said, Chris, I love animes, grew up on animes. One of my favorite animes as a younger child, I know, it's the fanboy anime, but I loved Bleach. So when I see this game, I see Bleach. and I see beautiful visuals, and the fact that it is first person and I see my hands, I hope this is for the VR as well. I hope this is for the VR.
That's
where
not a bad idea.
I am in an animated world. Like, it looks like Tokyo. This is very Japanese themed. Like, this is gonna be animation all the way up. Like, there's this one scene that I'm looking at right now. There's a bonsai tree and a moon in the background, and there's just like an endless body of water. That's like that's in 31 seconds of the clip. Viewers, you'll be able to see it, but it's so beautiful. This game just looks so gorgeous, and that's why you will feel so immersed, and you can get so scared so fast for that reason and that reason alone. I hope this is not going to be originally a PC game that's going to be ported for the PlayStation. I hope it's made just for the PlayStation.
You mean typical Bethesda fashion?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you don't have those glitches. So you don't have those, you know, those lag points and whatnot. So yeah, man, super excited. I'm giving this an 11 out of 10. I love horror. I love anime. I love just the Tokyo Western style of living. I mean, Eastern style of living. So, man, dude, I'm super excited. I can't wait for this game. Let's get scared with that one. Super.
I hope that this game is open world. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
It looks very linear.
And I'm watching it right now, and I'm like, oh. I hope this game isn't linear, man, because this would be a great open world. You're just walking down the street.
And who better to do that than Bethesda? I mean, right? Like
dragons randomly falling out the sky.
Who better? Who better? So, dude, I'm excited, man. Let's see. Whew. All right. PS5 Reveal. Where do we start? Like, do we start with the look? Do we start with the color? Do we start with how big it looks? Where do we start? That's all.
So I need a black controller because I eat a lot while gaming. But
okay, all right.
Aside from that, I'm excited.
Start on controllers. Don't get me started on controllers.
I've always wanted to have Cell's head as a console.
Oh my God! Here we go.
No. Okay, seriously though, I'm excited. I like sci-fi a lot. Like, I'm a really big sci-fi fan, and the PlayStation 5 looks like what I would see someone playing in a sci-fi show.
It's the future.
Yeah, it looks like the future. Like, Xbox looks like, oh look, this shit already got.
No, look, Apple. This is the Apple desktop. That's exactly, or it looks like the Apple HomePod. I don't care what no one says.
Looks like Echo. Looks like a square, like a rectangular prism Echo.
Go away, Microsoft. Go home with your Zune.
Is your table crooked?
Remember Zune? Huh?
Is your table crooked? Don't worry, you could put the Xbox under it. Like,
yo.
No. Yeah, put it on its side and it looks like a pencil sharpener.
Yeah, like, put it on your desk.
I'll use this as a paperweight more than anything else.
I already have the limited edition Destiny 2 PS4 Pro. Okay. So I'm used to having a white PlayStation, so I'm not too off-put by the PlayStation being white. Just the controller, like, I've never touched my controller that came with my PlayStation. Like, it's 0 minutes, 0 seconds used. I just never wanted to put it on my hand because, you know, like, you play some COD, your hands get sweaty, like, yeah, or, you know, like some ruffles on that oil, you know. But the innards are black, which is awesome. And I love the design. Like, I can't lie, even if it looks like Cell's head or a duck's bill, like beak.
Yeah, Bill,
right? Yeah. I don't care. Like, it looks freaking awesome. It looks like some high tech heck.
The system or the controller? What are we talking about?
The system.
Okay.
I told you, most of my problems with the controller is the color of it. So when they release the black one, I'll have it.
As for the system, I'm gonna be honest with you. The system looks freaking amazing. Just like that. The system looks perfect. I have little to no complaints about the system. They did a real ballsy move because they showcased it standing up instead of laying down, because that has never been what it's supposed to be. No, like people were like, oh, PS3 could stand up and blah, and then people were actually taking thermometer readings of overheating, whether it's standing up or sitting down, and it's like the same thing with the PS4, and they found out, hey, don't you ever stand up your system. Oh. Let's see how this one does. Let's see how this system works.
Oh, wait, my PS4 is not supposed to be standing?
No, it's not. It's supposed to be laying down horizontal. You're gonna burn you're gonna burn out your PS4 like that.
It doesn't matter because the PS5 is coming out, Mark.
Yeah, you're right. With 25, how many games coming out launch? Look, that's not the point. Look, what I'm trying to say is this. Look, I like the actual design of it. People have made custom versions of it online of what it would look like in different colors. I still prefer the white over black for one reason, because of the system's legacy consoles. They were always black with a color on it. Now it's white. It's still the blue with the black. It's like it's the inverted look, you know. It's something different. It's something futuristic. It reminds me of Toonami Tom, you know. It's like it's not what
I got it. Toonami Tom. That was a good reference. That was definitely
it's not what you're expecting, and it's different, and it pops out. I do want to shift my attention to the controller. I have a problem with the controller. I do.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, because this is what we know as a PlayStation controller.
I'm okay with parting.
No, I'm not okay.
I'm okay with parting from it.
PlayStation controller, right? So the PlayStation controller on the bottom has these grooves where the analog sticks hold.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
The backhand side has different like grips that feels like it contours to your hand. Now I don't have big hands. I don't have big hands.
That's why you like that controller.
But this is very comfortable.
It is.
Don't do it.
This is an Xbox.
Do it.
This is a hunk of crap. This feels like a piece of toy plastic that I get from McDonald's.
Fisher Price. Fisher Price.
This feels very cheap. This feels very cheaply made. Now, aside from the physicality of the controllers, I'm talking about the actual right here, holding the controller. You know, not where but just this part right here. This where the meat of my hand goes under. This makes my hand cramp.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that is a user problem, right? I've got massive hands, right?
This is a small controller? You really think this is a small controller?
I can touch all the buttons on that controller with one hand.
Well, then cut a joint off. I don't know what to tell you.
So it's like every time I really like hold my PlayStation controller to play serious, it creaks. Like I can hear the plastic straining.
That sounds like you're death gripping your controller.
Yeah, I was just about to say, are you abusing it? Maybe.
No, I've had the same gold controller for 2.5 years. So like, it just isn't hold. Like it feels like a hunk of crap. Like when I'm frustrated, I literally like.
I can hear it. What the hell?
Yeah, that's death grip, bro. You're death gripping your controller.
I'm not, bro. It's just I
know what it is. Is when you're backpacking all the time. That's what it is. You get frustrated.
Yeah, like when we're playing Risk of Rain and y'all are both dead, it's Chris, don't die. No, but I like having more controller. And I would say
that you could break when you throw.
No. But I would say the recent example is the Pro controller for the Switch, right?
Oh, I knew you was gonna say it.
It's a comfortable controller. It's
Nintendo,
so comfortable.
God, here we go. Like I said, Nintendo walks into the room.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, but see, but
ugliest controls ever.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it right now.
No, I hate it being bad. Like the A and the B thing does fuck me up, like on some real. But just the controller feels like it's the perfect, not too big, not too small. Like, and there's no way I can say it. Like, PlayStation controllers are long, right? I feel like they're long, right? Yeah. They're long and kind of short.
Yeah. They are.
Agreed.
Xbox controllers are kind of
bulky,
but tall, right? There's more space from, So the Switch Pro controller is like the perfect in between of both. And to even better, like to have it the way the PlayStation does, where both the analogs being next to each other instead of separated.
I like this. This is comfortable.
That's comfortable for you? Like, it's okay. So the best example I could give is the Scuff Impact controller for the PS4, right? It has the Xbox size, but the PlayStation format, and it's not too bad. Like, I like it. It's really good. I am more of a fan of the analogs being separated by the D-pad.
Why?
I was just about, God.
Why? No. I want to hear why. I don't know. I want to hear why. I just want to hear why.
Well, like I said, I have big fingers. So a lot of times, like, I'll be moving and my fingers, like, if I'm turning, you can't see it well. But if I'm trying to turn my character and look, in the opposite direction, my fingers get dumb. Like, they bump into each other, they fall off the analogs, and my character stops moving.
I'm going to say the same thing you just told me. That sounds like a you problem.
But like, that's just the shortage of, like, the controller. Like, I don't know. But like I said, that's why I prefer it that way. Because it's just, like, a lot of hand overlap.
I use my right thumb on this, and when I hold the controller like this, I feel like I don't have enough control on the right analog stick because there's too much meat right here.
Yes, but that's why I said the Switch Pro controller was the perfect in between, because it doesn't have all of that.
Like, I have to like, instead of gripping the controller like this, which I hope nobody's playing like that because that's very uncomfortable. I have to grip it like this far out. We'll hold it.
Yeah.
Like, no. But then my thumb doesn't reach.
So
tiny hands.
Go ahead. This is my input. It's driving me crazy.
This part right here.
Yeah, like, we all know I was super frustrated when I seen this. I thought it was all concept drawings. I was like, nah, I can't believe it. I need to see it when it gets revealed, when PlayStation reveals it. And no, they did it, and they made their controllers look exactly like an Xbox controller. It drives me insane. I'm happy that they kept the analogs in its same placement.
But that's what makes it PlayStation.
They added more. Yeah, they added.
But think about it. Just think about it. Let's step back to PlayStation 1 when they first released the first vibrating controller. Okay,
it was still sleek. It was thin.
It was the first vibrating controller that had analog sticks. No one else figured I'm gonna incorporate an analog stick into the controller. When people seen that, they're like, what the hell is this? And PlayStation has had the same overall look ever since then. They never changed it. Now, let's go back to Nintendo, where you had literally the square. This was your controller. And then you went to Nintendo 64, where you had a boomerang. Can someone explain that to me? And then the analog stick was in the middle, and then there was there was the C button. Go ahead. Tell me that C button was the most stupidest button ever. And then they had to incorporate these analog sticks because PlayStation figured it out. I remember when Xbox first came out with their first analog controller, that thing was the size of my head, and the analogs, they couldn't figure it out. So what did everyone do? They eventually all started going towards what PlayStation did because it was perfected. And now PlayStation is somewhat getting out of that stream, and they're starting to go to where Xbox is at as far as the bulkiness goes. And I think the reason why they're doing that is because of the sensitivity for the vibrations, and then also your triggers.
Yeah, I was gonna go towards that point. I think the reason why the bulkiness of the controller is due to the haptic functionality.
I don't think they need the space. They need the space.
Yeah, I don't think the
the
PS4
space.
controller
It's
is
not simple.
big enough to support the haptic functionalities.
Nope.
There's a lot of vibration going on there. A lot of vibration. Your girl might pick up a PS5, but not for the reasons that you might think.
So, I mean, I understand why they did it, but the fact that it has that flush bottom, it just looks it's too much.
It's a little disheartening because you look at the PS5 and you look at the modern-esque, sleek, it's doing all the, and then you look at the controller and it's like,
yeah.
It's
wait, just here you go. Boom. You know what I mean? Like okay, that's cool.
What I'm concerned about is because with the bulkiness, you look at this controller and it's bulky the way it is.
I see
and
cheap.
It's not sensor button. It's mechanical button. I hope the PS5 doesn't follow the same trend. I hope the PS5 continues with the soft mesh functionality of the buttons instead of the mechanical sounding.
And then your buttons get stuck. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then your buttons get stuck on the Xbox.
I don't like this. I don't like
They get
this.
stuck either way, dude.
Nah, man.
It hasn't happened to me since PlayStation 2.
Because this is not good for fighting games. This D-pad not.
But let's also be honest as well. Xbox, when you hold it, it feels cheap. They still have battery operated controllers and wired operated controllers.
Like we're talking about that. That's functionality. I'm strictly speaking about. I agree. Yes, I agree with you. But I'm strictly speaking about the PS5 and voicing my concerns. I noticed that they changed this. This is no longer a circle button. There. That is an actual PlayStation symbol button, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know what they changed to the touchpad, if they added anything to it, but
there's still a mic inside the controller, which is awesome. So when the character, actual mic. So I mean, a speaker inside the controller.
Oh yeah, right at the center point.
That's awesome. You know what I mean? That's awesome. The touchpad is awesome. But like I said, where they just went with a bulkier feel, and I understand why they did it. I just wish they could have figured it out as maybe in future controllers. But I feel like this is going to be their staple, and I'm just going to have to suck it up.
Yeah, there's a speaker and mic in the controller, by the way. It's not just... You mean there was a speaker in the P4, the DualShock 4?
Yeah, in the P4, there's a speaker, so you can actually hear like a robot talking from this. You know what I mean?
They stated there's also a mic in the controller, so people can hear you through the controller as well.
That's bugged out.
That's interesting. But
they said like it's not gonna be for competitive. They were like, yeah, we're talking to you, Connect users. Like,
wow, that's messed up. That's messed up.
So yeah, it's not gonna be like because you'll be able to hear everything else as well if you're using it through the controller. So if you're a serious gamer, then no, you won't be using the controller.
No, obviously I'm really talking like this and hey, how you doing? But again, I'm concerned.
Son of a bitch! And they thought they muted themselves.
I am concerned with the bulkiness of the controller and whether or not it's user friendly to, I guess, the younger audience. Because again, I have smaller hands. That's fine. So this is, hey man, they fit everywhere. Look, this controller is a perfect fit. The PS2 controller was a perfect fit. The PS1 controller without minus analogs was a little bit small, even for me.
Yeah, it was small. That was very small.
Very small.
And people still use that in Street Fighter competitions, which is insane. They use
it has a better reaction time, which is scary. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at is this. I hope that it's not as. Look at this. Look at this. Do you not see the difference in thickness?
That girth.
Yeah, it's.
That's for the batteries, bro. That's why.
Oh, all right.
Yo, don't get that 99-cent batteries because it's only gonna last you one match of Call of Duty. That's all.
Wait, I want to say the last part about why I think they changed the design of the controller is because it wasn't a friendly design to use the X, square, triangle, circle buttons separate. Like, the best way I can phrase it is that the PS4 controller is optimized for using both, like games where you use both the analogs all the time.
Yes.
Right. If you're playing a game that doesn't make use of the right stick, it's a very uncomfortable feel to the controller. Like, to adjust your hand so that it's just easier, more efficiently poised over the character buttons, I have a harder time personally. So I don't know if you guys follow that as well. So like when I'm playing kind of like an arcadey game where I don't need to move the camera, right? I still feel like my thumb is at a really awkward angle to better press X, square, triangle, and circle all the time.
Okay.
Right? So Mark, can you do me a favor and like hold it?
Hold it.
No, out the way. Like,
yeah, hold it. Like this.
Right? Yeah. Now, exactly. You see that angle your thumb is at? Like, it's more comfortable for your fingers to be on the analogs than it is to be poised over the other surface buttons most of the time.
Right? No way, dude. I just let it sit on the meat of my hand.
Yeah, but I don't think it's more comfortable that way. Like, I don't know. And I just feel like maybe the new design will allocate your hand to feel more relaxed when it's using the surface buttons more than analogs.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna shoot it down. I'm not gonna shoot it down until I have it in my hand, because PlayStation, when they went from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, I was really like hesitant because of the light. You know what I mean? Because of the
it was ballsy. It was a ballsy.
Exactly. And you think about it, right? Your hands are still there. And that light was so that the camera could pick up the light on the thing, and you could know if you're player 1, player 2, player 3. You know, it was pretty cool. It had a cool concept. So when they took out the pause button, remember when they took out the pause and select button? I was like,
I'm still mad about that.
I get it, but they still made it work, is what I'm trying to say. And the ergonomics of their control, they was like, okay, this is the controller. We have to figure out how we're gonna figure this out. And they made it work. I
want to say Nintendo did what they intended to do 1,000 times better. And again, it's the case of Nintendo walking in
so much. Must I say anything about the 64 controller or the GameCube controller?
Yeah, but the 64 controller was designed so if you didn't need an analog, you could hold the two outsides, and if you did, you could hold the inside and the right side.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty smart. Like,
but there were some games that you had to utilize both, which drove me insane. Like,
that's the game developer. No, that's the game developer's fault. That's not Nintendo's fault.
They were like, yo, let's just use everything. Why not? It's there, right? We might as well be able to use it. Let's figure out. And then how many times did your analog stick on your 64 go lopsided like this?
That's because you got death grip as a child and need to
exactly. Yo, why is your analog stick like this all the time? It's like that one guy that has a lazy eye. You know what I
mean? No. So look, all in all, yeah.
Nintendo, and you can already tell that Nintendo is like did one of these. All right, scrap it up. Let's start something brand new.
Yes. TV remotes. Let's play with TV remotes.
Yeah.
So I think based on what you said too, Meek, PlayStation realized that the whole light thing wasn't necessary. Like, people know if they're player 1 or player 2. It's stated on the screen all the time. So like, I think
it was good for the camera because it was meant for the camera more so. It was meant for the cameras more so, because that's why you're able to dim it out and not dim it so much. So when your camera picks you up, it knows where you're sitting. That was the original concept that I was going for. So remember, you're sitting on the couch with your boys and everyone's on one screen. And then you would have to move to the left because you were player 1, or you would have to move to the right because you were player 2. The camera would automatically see where you was at, and it would adjust for you. So if you were player 1 and you were sitting on the right, you was on the right side of that screen, which was awesome.
Oh, let's make you player 4 instead.
Exactly. So it was no, hey, give me the controller, let's switch. You know what I mean? It was none of that. Because of your
again, it was convenient. It was convenient, but
I think they looks like they took it out.
No, it's still there. It's just on the inside of the touchpad.
Exactly. But they took out it being on the back of the controller is what I'm saying. So if you look at the PS4,
no, it's still there. It's still there.
Let me see. Or can you pull it up on your screen?
I'll pop it on No, it's not there.
No, right?
It's gone.
Which means, I mean, like technology.
It's under the touchpad.
Yeah.
The light is under the touchpad.
The light is on the sides of the touchpad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I want to know what they're going to use it for now. It's going to be because you got to remember the Sony motion sticks.
Yeah.
That's why the balls where one was yellow, one was pink, and one was blue. So it can pick up the different motion sensors for the camera. That's what I really love.
That was pretty smart.
It was very smart. It was very smart. So let's say if you had your own set of balls and someone else had their own set of balls, pause on that.
Oh, I hope.
It knew how to pick up. It knew how to pick up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think technology just advanced, and if anything should tell you, that would be Nintendo's Joy-Cons. Like, sorry, they just hit. While everybody else is trying to figure out how to sell more consoles, they're trying to figure out how to make their tech better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And Nintendo's king for accessories.
Like, and think about this, right? I know I was touching base on this before with the identification of players, but Nintendo's thing is flawless, right? The 4 lights on their controllers is so perfect because it also uses the binary system function, like, in order to do numbers. Yeah. So, like, 5, it has, like, a very, like, you know, it has a very specific lighting sequence, then 7, a 6, 7, and 8, as well as 1, 2, and 3, and it's as simple as how many lights are lit up at a time.
Yeah.
Like, which is impeccable. Honestly, it allocates for up to 8 players to be able to identify which number they are.
It's genius. It's just, I'm not going to deny it and say Nintendo's not really good at marketing and identifying user-friendly things, and that's always what they've always gone for. Specifically, Sony here, man, I'm looking at this controller and the girth is killing me, man. I really hope it's not an Xbox brick.
Maybe they'll come out with a baby version.
Baby version, man. Listen, man, I told you, it's. They even have an Xbox Series half cut in half with Sony, the left-hand side Sony, and then the right-hand side Xbox. So it looks like this. So it looks something like that.
And then hopefully, I mean, we'll see.
Or wait, no. Yeah, my bad. It looks like that.
We'll see.
No, I'm bugging.
Now,
yeah, it's like this.
Now, the only other topic I want to touch on is obviously the camera's going to be badass. Obviously, I'm not going to get the remote because I really don't watch Netflix on my PlayStation.
Oh, I am. I'm totally getting it.
Yeah, I don't watch it on my PlayStation, Netflix, or Hulu or anything.
I don't pay for cable and ish, so I just watch everything on my PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I pay for cable, but I don't watch it. I'm more on Netflix, but I watch it on my my Apple TV. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more convenient. Because if I have anything on my phone, I can just pop it right onto the TV.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Obviously I'll be getting the camera. I hope the PlayStation VR is compatible with the PlayStation 5
or integrated somehow.
Yeah, it has to be. Because we got to remember when the PS4 the VR came out, it came out when the regular PS4 was out, and then the PS4 Pro came out, and the graphics were enhanced even more in the VR because of that processor. So I wonder if it's going to be even more powerful now that you're going to have a PS5. I don't see why. It's more like the Rift, right? Because the stronger your PC is, the better the graphics, the better rendering, the better everything. So I wonder if it's going to be something like that. But also to what Chris said in the beginning, I just hope their UI, they figure out their UI, man. That's the one frustrating thing I have. I hate being in the middle of game, and then someone sends me a game chat. I mean, a game invite, group invite, and guess what? I press that button, and guess what? Now I'm lagged for like 20 seconds. I'm like, and I just bought this PlayStation.
But that's a RAM. That's a RAM issue. That's not anything else. That's lack of RAM.
Don't they have like 8GB RAM now?
Yeah, they do. But I'm saying it's lack of RAM. That's just lack of memory right there.
All I'm saying is just give me if that's the case, give me the option to add more RAM. You know what I mean? Even if PlayStation sells their own RAM, let me do that.
Nah, man.
It looks like it has a memory card thing too. By the way,
a slot for a memory card. I don't like that. I don't like that because Sony's notorious. No, Sony's notorious for overpricing and putting in their own versions of the same already existing technology, like the PS Vita memory cards.
Meek, I'm gonna hurt your feelings. This controller looks like it's gloss.
Just like an Xbox. Just like an Xbox. So that paint can start chipping away. That's awesome. And then where your hands are mostly at, it's gonna get faded. And oh god, I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna get
I'm gonna buy a grip. Don't worry, I got you.
Oh man, but guys, I'm super excited. This has been a long review. I'm gonna put everyone's tags up in the thing, so make sure to click on them. Mark, thank you for joining us. Chris, thank you for joining.